Welcome along to Rock and Rob's album review. How are you, Rob?
I'm excellent, Steve. Are you?
Yes, good to see you, mate, as always. And liking the T-shirt, you'll always be a Geordie. What's it say? No matter where you go. Very good, mate. Never forget your roots.
That was actually part from Wiedersehen Pet when Oz says Chiriote's son. There's a bus stop right outside where the Hard Rock Cafe is, under the bridge. That's where it was. Never forget your roots,
the Newcastle Arms, mate. The Newcastle Arms.
Yep.
Fantastic.
So that's where that was from.
Great scene, mate. Great scene. Okay, what's the album this week, mate?
It's embarrassingly enough, I can't find the album today. I've got 8 or 10,000 records. So yeah, you prompt for you. There you go. I hunted high and low, but I've got 10,000 albums, so it's lost somewhere. But so yes,
Sticky Fingers, the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. One of the reasons I've chose this was obviously last week we'd done the Beatles. I don't think you can have one without the other.
Yeah.
A few things about this. It was 1971. A good friend, Paul, he moved down to London. He's a massive Stones fan. So we went to see the Stones in 1990, the Urban Jungle Tour. And he made me aware that when we went there, the Stones had only been together as a band for 25 years. And this was only 19 years after Sticky Fingers was made. So I felt my age when I had the conversation the other day. So yeah, that was 1990. It was at Hampden and Gunn supported them. That was a good concert. So yes, I have seen them live. So a few facts on this one I found out. The cover, everybody seems to imagine it's Mick Jagger on the front. I think it was an unknown model who's taken. It was taken. Hundreds of people were taken for it. That cover was banned in Spain. It was found derogatory or inappropriate. So the one in Spain was actually, I think this is worse. It's a can of beans covered in blood with fingers coming out of it. Sticky Fingers. I find that more alarming. There you go. There you go. So there's your Spanish versions. And I cannot remember now the photographer. Can't remember his name, the photographer. Everybody would be aware of it, who took the picture. But anyway, so I done a wee bit of research and it'd been reissued. And in America, you can buy this version, but it comes with a pair of jeans with it. Jeans, right. A pair of your size. And in the pocket with it comes a clear plastic bag with an ounce of white, shall we say, flour in it. That is official. I don't know how they managed to get that shipped, but yeah, the opening song is called Brown Sugar, so there's a clue to it. But yeah, the first one, you got a pair of jeans in your size, the album came out the jeans, and you got a white. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. So this was the first album with the Stones. Everyone knows the tongue, you know, the Stones tongue. This was the first album that came out on the Rolling Stones label. So everybody, you know, you'll see a lot of people now that wearing the Rolling Stones t-shirts and stuff, and I think a lot of the people think that's the name of the brand of clothing they're wearing. Not a lot of people, you know, same with Ramones, lots of other bands, but it's a fashion thing. I don't think there's any fillers in this album. I've listened to it twice during the week. It's quite bluesy, quite mellowy, but I always found the Stones more gritty, a bit dirtier than the Beatles were. They're more rock and roll, you know, in a completely different way. It's definitely not Mick Jagger on the front cover. That I know as well. Cats annoy me. I cannot remember the photographer's name. Anyway, it opens with Brown Sugar. Is a drug song. It was going to be called something else. Mick Jagger wrote it when he was in a field somewhere down in London, but I'll not repeat what it was originally going to be called. But I think the name Brown Sugar, you look at Keith Richards and it'll give you an insight into the song, what it's about. Great song, Brown Sugar, what a great song to open up with. And then you're going into Sway. It's Mick Jagger plays on guitar in this one. I love that. Again, the drumming. I find Charlie Watts' drumming is outstanding. I mean, to me, again, not being from that generation as a drummer, is outstanding. A lot of tom work, just more darker. It's just more a deeper tone to his drum style. Obviously, goes with the rock and roll and the blues main theme for the band. But great, got a nice piano throughout the song, nice slide guitar intro. It's one of those sort of Greengrass blues, moody, typical sort of blues songs. And then after that, you've got Wild Horses. It was written by Keith. He also wrote the song Angie. Now, to me, I wouldn't have thought Keith Richards would have been writing songs, say, sort of like that style. I thought they would have been a bit more gritty. But Subo, what's her name? Subo? Susan Boyle, that's it, from Bathgate, covered this, and I thought it was a sin. I think there's certain songs that should not be covered, just with the moodiness, the atmosphere, how Mick sings a song, and you can tell with emotionalness, it's raw, his vocals throughout the songs, that's outstanding. It's quite a tearjerker. Then you've got Can You Hear Me Knocking? Again, it's a great rock intro. It's like a typical hard rock song, sort of new wave-ish in a way, I suppose. It's Keith and Charlie intro. It reminds me a bit about the Stooges, Iggy Popish. Got a good song, quite a heavy song. Then you've got to Move, slide guitar or pedal steel sort of intro. I really like that sound. It's quite slinky. That's the word I'd use. It's quite moody. There's a chap called John Campbell John that was originally sung it. So that's a cover version, but it's a really, really good song. Next song, Bitch. I think it's probably my favourite song on the album. It reminds me of, say, a 1970s detective theme tune that would have been on like Streets of San Francisco, that type sort of thing. Great horn section on it, great guitar riffs through it, just clean cut, just moody, gritty again. It's, they do what they do in the tin, After that one, I Got the Blues. It reminds me of a song from, is it called Get Your Yayas Out? It's another Stones album. There's a song on it called Love in Vain. So to me, it reminded me like that. To me, taking the part off it. But it's a good ballad, moody, good horn section again. Lyrics are lovely. It's just another great song. Then you're going into Sister Morphine. That was from the Let It Bleed sessions. Marianne Faithfull also covered this song as well. Again, moody blues song. It's quite a lonely song. This was not the Spanish pressing, again, because of the title. So they're offended by a pair of jeans and a song title now. Dead Flowers, country western type song. Again, it's good. So you're going into your blues, your moodiness, your ballads, country western, slide guitar, pedal steel. Then you've got your country song. Again, see the harmonies as well. I didn't take for granted, but didn't really pick up on before. It's Mick and Keith's harmonies together, absolutely sublime. Never noticed it before till during the week. Outstanding. Again, there's a song called Midnight Mile. That's Mick Taylor on guitar. Jagger singing it, of course. Quite a dreamy song. Great song to end the album on, but I think there's a band I like called the Gun Club, and the late singer Jeffrey Lee Pierce I thought could have covered this superbly. It's just, again, it's like a moody song. It's just a mellow, it's just like a warmth to this album completely. And I think as well, I've put on it, there's a couple of great names. If there's any bands or anyone trying to start a new band, to me, Dead Flowers and Sister Morphine would be two good names for a band. But I'm going to give that a 4.5 out of 5. Or an 8 out of 10. It's brilliant. It's just so good. There's maybe like one sort of song that's, but the rest of them, it's a consistent album. I much prefer this to Revolver for different ways because I go down a different route with music. So yeah, that's.
Are you more of a Stones man than a Beatles man? Yeah.
Yeah, I did try again. I mentioned last week to you. I mean, I bought Rubber Soul. I bought the Revolver in the 80s and tried to listen to them, but I couldn't. I just think it's the rock and roll, the grittiness, the more. I think the history about the Stones are just more down my level. But like you say, like last week, the Beatles are something for everybody as well.
Yeah. Better drummer between Charlie Watts and Ringo Starr?
Charlie Watts, 100% for me. He does this. It's like an offbeat. He'll hit these. He'll go on his hats, and every time he'll hit his snare, he'll release off his hats. So it looks like he's not playing. He's one of those drummers that you're not aware he's there because he's that good. You know what I mean? It's like a click track. He's just that consistent. And I find that with drummers, if you're not aware they're there, it's just part of it. It builds in with it, but it builds in with the emotion of listening to the music. He's a great drummer. There's a lot of toms on it as well, and it's just a different sound from the Beatles. I think the Stones it's warmer, it's a bit darker. The toms and the mix is different for me, and this wasn't a remastered one I listened to, but it's just like you say, it's two different bands.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Great stuff as always. Good review. Celtic won the title in Scotland.
Yeah, they had a nice little helping hand. Get Hearts player sent off. I believe so anyway. But they played Rangers yesterday. Didn't get a guard of honour. Some people think, why should they? But it's the politics of football. I mean, to me, there's sportsmanship. They should have, I think, though. It was sportsmanship. You know, you've got a lot of kids.
Agree.
They've got a lot of kids in that looking up to these players. And now they're thinking, well, what, they're not doing it. Why should we? But Hearts was 2-2. They were getting beat 2-0. 5 minutes injury time, 10 seconds left. Hearts get a penalty. But next Sunday, there's a good game. So we've got Wembley next Sunday, Gateshead, Halifax. So my strips arrived. A few of us will be up here in Montrose watching the game. My neighbours from Gateshead underneath. So we're all going to have a wee get together and watch it somewhere local. So
prediction for Gateshead next week then?
3-2 to the Heed. 3-2. They've got to play it. Yeah. 3-2. It's great football to watch. I love it. I've been loving it all this season. I've been watching a lot of their games. It's great. It's great to watch. Pretty fearless, shoot from anywhere. You know, keepers are brilliant. Marshall, a great keeper. It's just great to watch. It's better football, grassroots. I think it's better than the Scottish Premiership. So really do.
Okay, mate. Great stuff as always. Album for next week?
Next week, I'm going to change the scene. It's going to be a bit of it was a scene of music I wasn't into at the time, but now I'm older. I really like this band, and we're going to go for the Prodigy.
Ooh,
next week. So it's changing direction. You know, we've had a lot of 70s stuff, a lot of mid 80s. So I'm going to now start going up to, you know, and again, if anybody wants to, you know, in suggestions or comments, an album they want me to listen to and review, it gives another opinion on it, an open-minded version of it.
Good
Anybody
stuff.
Just drop me a message and let me know what they want me to review.
So that was Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones. We've got the Prodigy next week where Rob's going to take our brains into another dimension. Rob,
nice.
Thanks very much, mate. Take care.
Okay, mate. Thanks, Steve. Bye.
A big shout out to all our sponsors. Thanks to Skips and Bins, telephone 0800 25 45 25 3, email inquiries at skipsandbins.com, website skipsandbins.com, easy contract free and pay as you go waste collection. Thanks to Mr. Vicky's sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can order them from their website, mrvickies.co.uk, or by calling 01768 210 102. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the video technology. Thanks to qtechshop.co.uk, the makers of pool tables and snooker tables in Wallsend, Newcastle. If you enjoy the show, please hit the little thumb under the video and like the video. Click share to share to your other social media, or subscribe. It's free and we do 7 shows a week. If you want to become a member, you can click join underneath this video. There are different packages to suit all different pockets. And if you want to become a cult member, then put your smartphone over the QR code. It'll take you straight there to the website, which is nufcmatters.com. If you go in via the website, just click membership pack. What do you get for your money? You get a pen, you get a cup, you get a membership card and a scarf, and entry into the monthly draw. Don't forget, we are available as a podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast providers. And we also support the food bank on this show. NUFCfansfoodbank.co.uk is where you'll find the matchday bucket. You can make a virtual donation today. We've also got some events coming up over the next couple of months. An evening with Peter Beardsley at the Tyneside Irish Centre, Tickets available from newcastlelegends.com, or go to Voucher and get a 40% discount. Our end of season do is the 27th of May at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Tickets are a tenner from NUFCmatters.com. An Evening with Gavin Peacock takes place on July the 10th at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Tickets from NUFCmatters.com for that event. And the following night, Gavin will be at the Tynemouth Surf Cafe. Go to their website for ticket information. We've got a vast range of t-shirts, merchandise and memorabilia available at our website. The Isaac t-shirt is doing well. Go to NUFCmatters.com to buy one today.
I shall be moving on soon, so I want to ask you a favour.
Name it.
Don't make the same mistake that me and my brothers have done.
If you lads pull this off, you're going to go down in history.
Goodbye to you, my trusted friend.
Where's that? Sunderland.
Each other since we were 9 or 10.
You're talking about the post office, aren't you? How much we're looking at? Maybe more.
Learned of love and hate.
Any news on Stephen Sayers?
Word on the street is he's headed to the Costas.
We're a long way from York Street now, mate. This deal, it's the start of the big thing. We're a new breed of criminal.
You tried to teach me right from wrong.
There's only one way that this is going to go, Stephen. In any happy ending for the life you three have chosen. Please think about him.
By my friend, it's hard to die.
Or me.
They're a family of West Enders who think they run Newcastle. They're a couple of jumped up, jacked the lads out of their depth.
Stephen has been a while.
They think they're big fish in a little pond. And it's my pond.
Mr. Stephen Sayers, I'm arresting you on suspicion of armed robbery. You do not have to say anything, but anything you do say may be used in evidence against you.
You can't beat the system. If you try, well, I'll just lock you up.
We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun.